Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. As you can see, we're on a new platform. I'm going to be putting out videos in this format in future, so it's a little bit more accessible for everybody, not just the local guys on the WhatsApp group, but nationwide. Secondly, the purpose of today's video is so we can deliver the message that John Sheridan gave last week at the Instructor Hub at a meeting regarding how standards checks are decided. There was a group of us, fellow instructors, driving school owners, audit trainers and social media influencers. So we're going to try and get the message out as much as we can as to the purpose of the new system. So here goes. John Sheridan is the head of driver training policy for DVSA, as I previously mentioned. John wrote the modern Part 3 standards check. So this guy really knows what he's talking about, and the number one point about all of this is improving driver standards. John has made it very clear another purpose to this is to reduce the backlog of driving tests caused by COVID. So it's something we all suspected, and he certainly came out with it, which I appreciate the honesty there. The emphasis has moved towards us as well as the DVSA in reducing the number of tests going through. To make bullet points for what went on at the meeting, several things were discussed. So how the new system worked, and I'm sure you can read it online on the DVSA website. We've all had the emails to work through it. And secondly, who it's going to affect, and thirdly, what we can do about it. So the stuff, how it's decided when you're going to get a standards check, I'll leave with the DVSA website because it explains it very clearly on there. At the point where you get asked to do a standards check, you're going to get 2 telephone calls. The first one will be to arrange a second telephone call to discuss your statistics. These statistics are on a rolling average of 12 months. You are able to ask the DVSA for a copy in advance if you want. It's called a crystal report. The enforcement ADI examiner will be giving you a copy anyway. And you then got time to prepare between that and the next phone call to have your discussion on how things are going for yourself. Be able to look at your strengths and your weaknesses and put a plan forward in what you're going to do about it. And of course, they're also going to arrange your standards check. So nothing we don't already do. Bit of self-analysis is coming into it. I'll explain a little bit more about that later on. So let's look at who this is going to affect. The national average pass rate is 52%. The DVSA are requesting us to move up to 55% first time pass rate. So who is this going to affect? Well, if 52% is the average, there are many of us out there well above that average, but there are also ones below it. It does affect all of us, even if we're currently above the 55%, because like me, I'm sure you all want to be better at what we can do, and we can all move forward. Those who are dropping below that number, we can encourage and train to be better. There are many audit trainers out there, myself included, who are willing to take time out to help you. Self-education, picking up ADI 1, the GDE, which is the Goals for Driver Education, your Driving Instructor's Handbook, plenty of YouTube videos. I'm going to be doing some more YouTube videos covering everything I've just mentioned, so click like, share, so on. To improve all of our standards. This will help your learners, this will help you in the long run, it will make you a better reputation, which will make you more money, you'll be able to put your prices up. So, and this waiting list is going to go down significantly if we can all stick to it, which is another point. We must all stick together on this. I'm sure you've all had the phone call by now, my instructors let me down. Nope, we know they haven't. We know it's them. They've been told no, but they're anxious to get a test because all they can see is tests next year coming up. Stick together, telling them no will massively help both you from your standards point of view and the learner from the cost. The average learner is probably spending £200 or £300 on a driving test. Not just the obvious costs like yourself and the car and the cost of the test itself. There's other things like they're either paying for a testy app or a booking service to get the test a bit sooner. They're morning off work, maybe the parents morning off work, and so on. So give them good value Stick to your guns. If they're not ready, they're not ready. How can we find out they're not ready? Dead easy. A mock test. Let's discuss that in a moment. So completing a mock test, maybe you want to do it yourself, maybe you want to buddy up with a friend and test your own learner. This can be a really important part of their training process, both psychologically for mental preparation of the test and for their own benefit of finding out what are their strengths and their weaknesses. One of the things I took away from our meeting was learners calling faults minor faults. There's no such thing as a minor fault, it's a driver fault. The driver has done something wrong. It's not minor, it could end up being something more serious or dangerous in the future. So one of the reasons these minor fault numbers are being set low is again to improve the driver standard. So get your mock test done, look at your faults and then develop from there. If you get called for a standards check, the process that will take place will be three things. Firstly, you're going to get a telephone call from the local ADI examiner. He will be arranging a full phone call for the future. It's going to give you a chance to prepare for that phone call. So you're going to get a copy of your Crystal report, which is the previous 12 months driving tests, giving you a selection of your faults that your learners got, from driver faults to serious faults to dangerous faults, so you can do a bit of self-analysis. You're entitled to ask for this at any point in the future, the Crystal report. Being a government agency, they have to respond to you within 10 working days, so don't be afraid to ask for it. Unfortunately, coming out of the meeting, if you get called for a standards check, three things are going to happen. So firstly, you're going to get a telephone call to arrange your interview telephone call. So this first telephone call will be done by a ADI examiner, and he's going to arrange to get to you a copy of your Crystal report. For those of you that don't know, a Crystal report is the previous 12 months test results showing your driver faults, your serious faults and your dangerous faults. It's going to give you a chance to self-analyse and prepare for the actual main telephone call itself. What I mean by prepare for the main telephone call, not just what the examiner is going to speak to you about and from your own analysis, but what you want to speak to the examiner about. This is a good opportunity for you to question the examiner and gain some knowledge for yourself. So do yourself a list of questions in preparation for the main phone call. During that main phone call, you can go through both things that both the examiner wants to go through and you can go through, and you can arrange your standards check and start being prepared for that. The standards check and part 3 test itself are exactly the same these days. I'm sure we all know we're going to get graded between 0 and 51 with an A or B after it, and we all strive to be the best we can, aiming for that 51. This helps deliver a quality lesson to the learner based around your client-centered learning. We train around the GDE, which is the Goal for Driver Education, the ADI 1, which is the examiner's guidance notes written by John for marking us as a part 3 or standards check. All of these are well known to audit trainers like myself. There are plenty of us out there. Come and find us. It's well worth getting in a car with one of us to help you analyse where you're up to and how you can improve. We have many successes with ADIs that sometimes are just a bit down in the dumps and can't see a way forward, and it brings them back up. They feel more confident and better about their own ability. This allows them to increase prices, increase customer levels. I'm sure we're all very busy at the moment, but we can all be better, and you know, it's a pleasure to get you guys in and spend some time with you. So start looking us up, start booking appointments. Let's be better. A few other pointers to come out of the meeting. The new standards check calling system is going to be permanent. It is there for the two things. Firstly, to improve us as trainers and our quality of our learner being presented for a test. And secondly, to reduce the backlog of tests, which currently stands at 500,000 as of last week. Sitting in the back of the car on a test is not being reintroduced as yet. It's still a COVID thing. It's ongoing. The DVSA will inform us as soon as they can, but there are no immediate plans to change that. And same with the length of the test. The plan is still to go ahead as we're currently doing it, where as soon as they fail the test, they're going to be brought back. at some point in the future that will change again. And a lot of people made the point that examiners rush to get out of the car at the end of the test and they don't get a chance to hear the debrief that the learner is given. This is something that John is addressing. It seems to have changed already, where the ADI has chance to get over to the vehicle to listen to the debrief. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the test report form is emailed to the learner. Unless they forward it on to us, it's going to be a difficult one at the moment, so we really need to be on that debrief so we can take our responsibility to help the learner move forward in the future. If they have passed the test, we can look at pointers and how they can go and self-improve as they gain their own experience. John also dealt with examiner quotas for passes and fails, etc. It kind of got established in the past there was a plus or minus 10% of the test centre average. This has now been completely dropped. All examiners do not have to meet any quotas. They pass and fail when appropriately. Ideally, they want everybody to pass first time, every single time. So get out there and make it happen, guys. So just to summarise last week's meeting, the main purpose are several things. Firstly, to improve the quality of the learner presented for a test through improving the quality of the instructor. Secondly, that's going to reduce the backlog of this 500,000 outstanding driving tests. That's going to make things quicker and easy for your learner. And thirdly, education for yourselves as an instructor. Read your GDE, find yourself an audit trainer, read your ADI 1, read your driving instructor's handbook, go find an audit instructor, get some training done. We can all be better, we can all improve. I'm certainly going out there and getting some more training for myself. And I look forward to delivering it onto you guys. I'll speak to you all soon.